The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Toronto Blue Jays are in the World Series, and the Vancouver Canucks can follow in their footsteps. What? I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan. You're listening to Locked On Canucks. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Go download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. And now, you probably know if you're an occasional listener or an everyday listener, but this is the show with the West Coast bias. We do got to talk about Toronto today. And no, we're not just drunk off the blue and green. Well, maybe a little bit. But here's the fact. The Toronto Blue Jays, almost nobody believed that they were going to be a playoff team, never mind a team that could make it to the World Series heading into this season. You look at all the power rankings heading into this season, the Blue Jays were kind of a bottom half of the league team. And I want to dive into some of the similarities between the Canucks and the Blue Jays, because, of course, the Blue Jays proved everybody wrong and made the World Series. Kyle, let me ask you, can the Vancouver Canucks do the same thing?
Man, oh man, the Blue Jays were what? Plus 6,000, whatever that means in FanDuel terms, which I think means it was damn near impossible for these guys to, again, make or win the World Series, and they're right there. So, again, anything is possible. And are there similarities? Sure, why not? Let's start from the top, okay? For real. Going into this season for the Toronto Blue Jays and their fans, and again, I'm not a baseball fan, but I'm a Canadian sports radio fan, so, you know, you hear about these things. There were contract talks and what ifs, and are we going to trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr. talks? I think I said his name right. And what's the talk in Vancouver, Trevor? Quinn Hughes, contract talks. Where's he going to go? Are they going to trade him? And at the end of the day, Vladimir Guerrero signs a long-term extension, a mega contract, $500 million, and he lives up to the name. Well, lives up to the bill and becomes an epic playoff performer. You know, again, not a big baseball fan for the second time, I got to say that, but I've been watching baseball games at the gym, and I've watched the last two with my dad. And yeah, the guy has aura. The guy is Mr. Canada. The guy embraces the city. And I feel as if Canucks fans, you know, we're pessimistic, we're angry, we're sad, we're traumatized, we're concerned, but there is a world where sooner rather than later, like on July 1st, Quinn Hughes chooses Vancouver over his brothers. And, you know, he embraces the city legitimately, and, you know, he wants to take this thing to the mountaintop. I honestly think it's a 50-50 thing. The more and more I sleep with it, I'm like, yo, Quinn Hughes has that vibe about him where he wants to get the D done.
Nothing like getting that D done. And Kyle, if you're saying that Quinn Hughes and Vladdy Guerrero, there are some parallels there, I'm going to draw you to the parallels between Bo Bichette and Elias Pettersson, right? You know, the two other star players for the Blue Jays and the Canucks, respectively. And Bo Bichette had a pretty rough campaign last year for the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Batting average was down. You know, a lot of the statistics kind of showcase him as a below league average player, much like Elias Pettersson last year. Not playing anywhere near his standard. And of course, Bo Bichette bounced back this year. And Pettersson could do the same for the Vancouver Canucks. And quite frankly, Kyle, you know it. I know it. You listening, you know it too. The Vancouver Canucks are going to need that from Elias Pettersson if they're going to pull off anything similar to what the Blue Jays have done here. So Elias Pettersson and Bo Bichette, I think there's some interesting parallels there. But to me, Kyle, if the Canucks are going to pull it off, it's going to come down to the depth, right? Much like the Toronto Blue Jays have done throughout this postseason, right?
Exactly. Even like they survived the Bo Bichette injury, right? Like they've won playoff rounds without, like, quote unquote, in your terms, their Elias Pettersson. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, plus 6,000 odds, doing the impossible. It's like, you just never know, Trevor. You just never know. And now you're going to be talking about the depth. And I have a feeling you're going to talk about some players that we've been raving about during the first 2 weeks of this season for your Canucks. And, you know, a part of me actually believes that we haven't seen it, but just based on their DNA, there's like a bit of clutch in them.
100%. And look, there's been so many players for the Blue Jays that have impressed me during this run. Like, you know, guys I'd barely heard of, right? I'm not watching regular season baseball. I'm tuning in when the playoffs start, right? But, you know, the Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement, obviously Alejandro Kirk, Some of the guys in the bullpen too. Like they've had all these depth guys step up and deliver massive performances in the playoffs. And with the Vancouver Canucks, they're going to need some of the same, right? Like, can some of the young defensemen on this team step up for your Vancouver Canucks? Up front, can your Kiefer Sherwoods continue to, keep playing above their value? Can a guy like Atu Ratu, now in a pretty big role for this team in light of all the injuries, can he step up as well? But the Vancouver Canucks, Cal, look, we said it coming into the season that despite the fact that they might lack the star power at the top, depending on what Pettersson does, but even after that, there's still a bit of a lack of elite talent. There are still probably 11 forwards on this team who could hit double-digit goals. Like, there could be enough offense lines 1 through 4 to help the Canucks at least get to the playoffs and then hopefully create some magic once they get there. But Kyle, one of the things I like about both these teams as well is that, like you mentioned, everyone disrespecting the Blue Jays, everyone disrespecting the Canucks heading into the season. And look, this even comes from the MLB power rankings. They had the Blue Jays in tier 5 heading into the season, below the middle class of the league. They were in the tier of time comes for us all. 2 teams staring directly at the end of an era. Basically saying that the Toronto Blue Jays, their core, there's a lot of question marks with, aging players on the roster, the Guerreros and the Bichettes needing new contracts. Of course, Guerrero did get his contract. These teams, like the Toronto Blue Jays, basically might have to rebuild even though they haven't won anything. Does that not sound like what people were saying about the Vancouver Canucks? I know the Athletic said something very similar about them, that the Vancouver Canucks, despite not winning anything, may have to enter a rebuild because they're kind of past their potential contention window. At least that was the numbers were saying, the nerds were saying about the Vancouver Canucks. So again,
we were saying too, though, like that. That's the thing about like the parallels. Like it's the pundits, it's the media people, it's the critics, but it's the fan base too. You don't think there was 90% of the Toronto Blue Jays fan base was like, "Yo, this team's done."
A lot of heat on the GM early in the season in Toronto too, right? So it's been a roller coaster.
Dude, for the last 2 seasons, again, I'm not a baseball fan, but I'm addicted to my smartphone, right? And I follow a bunch of people on Twitter who are Blue Jays fans because people love sports in Canada, and that is Canada's team, right? Like it or not, it is. Has nothing to do with the Maple Leafs, okay? They're just the Blue Jays baseball, they're Canada's team, right? And people are passionate. And bro, like 2 years ago, these guys blow like a catastrophic lead or some sort of collapse to the Seattle Mariners in like the first round of the playoffs. And then they don't make the playoffs after. And it's like, yo, get rid of everyone. Get rid of absolutely everyone. Everyone who washes the laundry, creates the jocks, all the president, the GM, like even there was such harsh critique over like their press conferences, like, what are these guys saying? These guys sound like they're out for lunch, all while I'm pretty sure like their old GM, Alex Anthopoulos, was having some success in Cleveland. Like again, I'm addicted to sports radio. I'm not a baseball fan. I don't want to sound smart here. I'm just regurgitating like everything I've been hearing over the last like 5 or 6 years. But man, oh man, like the fan base of Toronto was like, I could see Vladimir Guerrero leaving. Like we probably need to rebuild, and it's plus 6,000 to make the World Series. That's about right. Like we suck, but boom, just like that, they overcome it. And I listened to the manager. I was about to say the head coach of the Blue Jays, the manager of the Blue Jays, and it was funny because this guy to me was like. Beloved. Is it beloved when you're like hated and loved? Well, whatever. If he was like I think he was just hated a lot by the fan base, right? Even a couple days ago when he made that mistake. Again, this is not a baseball show, but he made a mistake. 8th inning or something, puts the wrong pitcher in, it blows up, they blow the lead, and now they're on the brink of elimination. And like you just see, I saw people on the Steve Dangle podcast network and fans, and they're like, oh, this is why Don Schneider is not a great manager. This is why we might got to get rid of this guy, even though he made it this far, because he can't get this team through the finish line. And it's like, boom, he just made it to the World Series. And, look at us, right? Rutherford and Alvin, like, what are they doing? Adam Foote, is he the right guy? You just never know. But Trevor, one thing I will say is you kind of do have to, as a Canucks fan, like, and this is like nothing against like the Utahs of the world, or this is nothing against even like the Carolinas of the world, right? But it's like, yo, we got Quinn Hughes and we got Thatcher Demko. And we might still have the alien and Elias Pettersson. Like you can't write off a team with one generational player and like 2 superstars and like Thatcher Demko and Elias Pettersson potentially. Like there still could be a chance here for Canucks fans, right? And We kind of saw that with the Blue Jays, where it's like Bo Bichette gets hurt and Vladimir Guerrero, who didn't have the best regular season, like he did his thing, don't get me wrong, and they won a lot of baseball games. But look how clutch he is in the playoffs, and that's what I want to see. I want to see this team make the playoffs. I want to see the Canucks have Thatcher Demko in net, who could, be a generational talent in the playoffs. Look at his numbers in 3 playoff starts or whatever it is, or four playoff starts. It's ridiculous. This guy has a .970 save percentage. No joke. And I also want to see a healthy Quinn Hughes for a whole run. And I know it's impossible to stay healthy in the NHL playoffs. This is not baseball. Okay, that was a bit disrespectful for the George Springer guy who hit a home run with one knee. But I want to see Quinn Hughes not be destroyed by Kiefer Sherwood in the first round of the playoffs, and just have a more cleaner slate of health throughout a whole run, because that guy could win you games and potentially a series with Thatcher Demko by his side.
And potentially a championship if the depth falls into place for your Vancouver Canucks. Like, Quinn Hughes has the ability to do that. But let us know in the comments, do you think the Canucks can pull off some Blue Jays-like magic this season? And Kyle, just because you shut out the odds there, the Blue Jays, like you said, plus 6,000 to win the World Series heading into the season. The Canucks currently on FanDuel plus 5,000 to win the Stanley Cup. So the Blue Jays potentially had worse odds of making or winning the World Series than the Vancouver Canucks have of winning the Stanley Cup. So I'm just saying, I don't know when it is NHL, there's some heavy hitters, but we do see teams kind of rise up unexpectedly. Anything can happen, and they can happen here. Yes, even in Vancouver.
100%. Let's get to this comment. Popocero saying that's sports, okay? Fans have their opinions, and it's literally a flip of a coin whether you're right or wrong. And again, smart fans, smart media members, dumbass fans, dumbass media members. At the end of the day, obviously, like a lot of the times we're so wrong. But again, I can speak for all of us. I want to be proven wrong so badly. Like I want, again, Elias Pettersson, it only took 2 games for me to be like, he's back. Like I just want the Canucks to win. So shove it up my rear end and bring me a cup. I don't want to be right. I just want to win.
Yeah, 100%. Let's I agree, Kyle. I want to win, and we're wrong lots. We're right sometimes too, though, so make sure you stay tuned to Locked On Canucks, because we're right about 27% of the time, I'd say. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm with you, Kyle. Like, I'm happy to be proven wrong. Just win, baby. That's all that matters. Kyle, I want to keep the feel-good vibes going on the other side. So maybe on the other side, get some comments and let's talk about some feel-good stories around the Vancouver Canucks. There's a lot of negativity based on the injuries, even though we're on a 3-game win streak. So let's keep things feeling good with some feel-good stories on the other side. That's coming up on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. Before we get back to the program, let's go shout out our friends over at FanDuel. You know the deal. This is the place you got to go if you're betting on sports, whether it's NFL, whether it's NHL, whether it's the World Series. FanDuel, they got it all. And if you're a new customer, well, man, oh man, let me tell you something. Right now, you can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. And like I said, the Vancouver Canucks plus 5,000 to win the Stanley Cup. Let's look at some of the teams that have better odds than the Vancouver Canucks, according to FanDuel. That includes the Ottawa Senators, the New York Rangers, the Washington Capitals, the Minnesota Wild, the Los Angeles Kings. Again, the Vancouver Canucks, they're a bottom half of the league kind of team, if you're asking FanDuel. If you believe in the Canucks, go hop on those odds. Any issues with gambling, go check out the links, the numbers in our description. If you're ready to rock, go visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today to get started. All right, now let's shout out our friends over at Rougier. Oh man, Kyle, where's the sexy music, man? Come on, let's go. You know what's coming. Here's the deal. You got to go check out our friends at Rougier. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, or I'm tired. It happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. A little boom, bam. A little power right in the kisser. And that's where Rougier comes in. Rougier.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED. God, for guys like you and me, those 32-and-a-half-year-olds who need help. And they're designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves, baby. So right now, time to get started. There's no need to make it awkward, okay? There's no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. Just connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online. The process is fast, simple, private, and it's all handled by real doctors. So make sure that you handle that, then start handling yourself. Let your partner handle you. Oh my God! Go visit rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL to get 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL. And don't forget to use code LockedOnNHL so they know that we said to you, Rugiet, stop making excuses and start making moves, baby.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bhawan. That right there is Trevor Beggs. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving us that West Coast bias on the low. So, we can talk to you and you and you and you. Speaking of which, let's get to some comments here on Locked On Canucks. Man, oh man, Samuel Adams saying the Canucks have too many Anthony Santander's and not enough Ernie Clements. I think he's referring to Anthony Santander. Again, I've watched a couple baseball games over the last couple weeks. Big free agent acquisition, ain't doing shit. Ernie Clements. This dude looks like a cool, nice, I don't even know if he's Canadian. He just looks like a nice Canadian boy, okay? I know he isn't, okay? And he's getting the job done. I think he's like batting like 390, 400, doing his thing. And I'm telling you, here's the truth. And not to like compare Elias Pettersson to Anthony Santander. I'm not here to do that. But I have a lot of faith in like Thatcher Demko and Quinn Hughes to be clutch and like carry a lot of the weight. And I have a lot of faith in like Kiefer Sherwood and Connor Garland and I don't know, other guys to just like figure it out and help this team win. I mean, we won a playoff series with Pius Suter being our fourth best forward. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know. And I think, again, the pessimism that's come from the standings and the real box scores and the reality of things of being a Canucks fan over the 10 years has maybe created like this aura around the Canucks not having like high character guys, but they do have a couple high character guys, Trevor. I would say a lot, to be honest. Like it's overturned even in the last 12 months. And just look at the accountability that Kiefer Sherwood is putting on his shoulder, but Connor Garland, man, this guy is, I don't see this guy stopping, man. I see this guy being a premier NHL forward for the rest of this season.
Well, Kyle, I like how you're making it feel good, man. Maybe it was the ED medication ad read, or maybe we're just feeling good about this Vancouver Canucks team. Maybe the sun is shining. But I think that is one of the best stories of this young season for the Vancouver Canucks. The fact that Connor Garland, again, part of an ill-fated trade, is now the best forward on this team. And Kyle, his contract at $4.95 was already a bargain. He's going to start making $6 next season. He looks like he's going to be with this team for a long time. And he is one of the best value players in the roster. I was going to say the best, but we do got Kiefer Sherwood and Quinn Hughes still. But again, just the fact that this guy is blossomed as a top unit penalty killing forward, one of the engines on power play one, the guy on the top line showing some chemistry with Elias Pettersson. Keep those two together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think that Connor Garland might be the most underrated player in the NHL, Kyle.
Oh, thank you. Because part of me was like, oh, this guy's going to say he's one of the most underrated Canucks players over in the last couple of years. No, I think he's one of the most underrated players in hockey. And yeah, we're smoking that West Coast bias. Yeah, we're always high on our neighbors. Don't blame us. We're from Vancouver. We smoke the best stuff. But Connor Garland, again, has proven shift in and shift out that he's just one of the best players in hockey. Like, is he a top 100 player? I don't know. How many mistakes does this guy make? Barely any. Zone entry after zone entry after zone entry, just like knocking pucks out of midair, keeping plays alive. And oh yeah, tenacity. Piece of shit. Being in the fight, dude. Like, what game was it? Was it a preseason game or I don't know, something in recent history where there was I think it was when DPD cross-checked Connor Zary into the boards or boarded him as game one, and like who's in the fight right away? It's Connor Garland, the guy who's 4'6", 127 pounds on a bad day. Okay, when he's not on ice skates, like this guy just has fights. Like this guy has fight, and to be honest, I'm surprised that Team USA chose Brock Besser over him in their additional add-ins when it came to who could potentially make the Olympic team. And that's nothing against Brock. Again, 3 goals in 5 games, doing his thing, unorthodox player, just always floating around and producing. But Connor Garland, I'm taking him 99 times out of 100 when it's a battle between him and Brock, for real.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I've said this before every day. No, I think it's better for the Canucks if Brock Besser can rise up and prove otherwise, prove he's better than Connor Garland. Especially if I know obviously Elias Pettersson stepping up would be something we've all been waiting for. He's getting there though, but don't take it away from Connor Garland, who I don't think anyone saw this guy as a power play one guy heading into the season. Even though he skated there for most of last season,
Do you like
no
that?
one saw him as the top penalty killing forward on the Vancouver Canucks, Kyle. But he's literally doing everything for this team. He's even taken Jason Dickinson out, standing up for Filipino. Like, man, oh man, like what can Connor Garland not do for this team, man? It's pretty unbelievable.
Well, I don't know if he stood up for. Oh no, he did stand up for Filipino by going after Dickinson. That's what you referred to, right?
Yeah, man, he injured Jason Dickinson, man.
But even like after Hedl gets like injured, right? Like he's over the boards helping him. He just seems like the ultimate team guy. And Trevor, I want to talk about some other feel good stories because one comment again is it's bringing me back to the Blue Jays and why I think there could be some similarities. I want to get to it, but you keep mentioning like oh, he's the Canucks #1 penalty kill. Like what do you mean by that? Because over the last like 3 or 4 games, I'm not like the biggest fan of our penalty kill, to be honest. And I don't know if it's like something to brag about, but are you looking at some data that's telling everyone that no, like Garland is he's actually like a really good penalty killer? I'm just curious.
No, I think the main thing is he just leads all Canuck forwards in ice time. So I'll try to pull it up here. I did write about it recently for Daily Hive, but basically every Canuck forward, like they're averaging 2 minutes or less on the penalty kill. Connor Garland is skating like 2:45. Let me see if I do have it here. But okay, this is before the Capitals game, but basically Connor Garland on the penalty kill, averaging 2:41 a game. The next closest Canuck is Kiefer Sherwood at 2:07, and no other Canuck is averaging more than 2 minutes a game on the penalty kill. Like Connor Garland, I say he's our top penalty killing forward because he's playing more than anybody else on the penalty kill, man. It is hard to believe for a guy who, just really started killing penalties at the NHL level last season. Now all of a sudden he's like the top penalty killing forward on this team. Yeah. I mean, it's just hard to believe, man, to be honest.
I saw a tweet from Chris Faber too. He doesn't tweet out a lot anymore because he's Mr. Canuck, right? He's like, it's been a treat watching Connor Garland penalty kill. And, I remember Chris Faber back in the day, like he's practically an unhired scout, watching hockey till like 5 a.m. every day, so I take his word serious. And yeah, kudos to Connor Garland, man. Anyways, comment. Grandpa Dan Jardine saying, I'm excited to see how Sasan responds to his increased ice time. I want you to respond to this, but first, again, we've been talking a lot about the Blue Jays, Mission Impossible, plus 6,000 to make win the World Series. Now they're 4 games away from doing that. The Canucks, Mission Impossible, they suck. There's no chance. Blow it up. 21st ranked goaltending tandem in hockey. Everyone's doubting us. And man, oh man, like to compare both the teams again and maybe have us produce a miracle. Let's not forget, it doesn't mean everything, but this team in very recent history, they may not have top prospects, but they're developing pro players. And oh yeah, championship level pro players. And Max Hassan is one of them. Linus Karlsson is another, but like Mancini and DPD and all that. I mean, like that does have to account to something because one of those guys, like one of those 4 guys, I would say 2 of those 4 guys, and throw Archie in the mix too. 2 of those 5 guys. Even if you want to throw in Kirill Kuriatsev, curry sauce, okay, that guy. Like those guys are going to turn into like real good NHL players. Top 4 guys, top 9 guys, 2 of those guys, and now they got some championship pedigree. So don't sleep on what Abbotsford did and how that kind of bodes well for our future moving forward, especially Trevor in like clutch situations when these guys have to play in April, May, and June.
Well, I think you're already seeing it pay off for the Vancouver Canucks. And I know they're very injured going into this game against Pittsburgh tonight. But I mean, R.C. Baines, Max Hassan, Linus Karlsson, Atu Ratu, DPD, all 5 guys spent a lot of time in the AHL last year. Now they're all regulars in the Vancouver Canucks lineup. And I know with Nils Amon and Joe LeBate, you got like a lot of AHLers in the lineup. But like just to focus on the 5 guys I mentioned first there, that's all the Vancouver Canucks. And, in terms of just acquiring guys via trade, signing them, like DPD is the only draft pick in there, right? Like Linus Karlsson was signed by this team, but, traded for by another regime. And Baines and Karlsson, undrafted free agents who signed. Max Hassan, same thing. Hassan and Baines, I should say. Achiratu via trade. Like this organization has just done a good job of finding young players who could become NHLers. They've developed them well. And now they're playing minutes with the hockey team, right? And,
Mhm.
it's up to this Canucks team to insulate those guys. And I think they tried this offseason, and obviously injuries have kind of shattered that a little bit, but it shouldn't take away from the fact that this organization has done a good job of finding those guys in the first place.
100%. And, during my spiel, I didn't even mention Atu Ratu and Jonathan Lecker-Mackey. Like, there's guys that had a lot of success last year, a couple months ago in Abbotsford, like in their developmental system. And that's good for the mainstream team for real. Like, again, the Canucks are not as bad as we think they are. And we'll get to this more on the other side, especially when they have Joe Labate and Elias Pettersson down the middle, Trevor.
Let's go, man. Good old Joe Labate. Let's get to that record-setting beauty on the other side here on Locked On Canucks. All right, before we get back to the show, let's talk about the monies. And that's because of our friends over at Monarch Money, baby. Let's be honest. Most of us can't even name all our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between savings accounts, registered accounts, investments, and properties, it's easy to lose track. And that can mean, dun, 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 leaving money on the table. And that's why I started using Monarch, baby. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings together your entire financial life in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. And man, oh man, with the combination of our previous ad read and Monarch, I'm performing in the sack like never before. And with Monarch, that's because they've eased my stress. With Monarch, you can combine your accounts with your partners so you can track all your spending and investments in one place. For me, that means less stress, and that also means more lovemaking. Let's go, baby. So improve your love life and don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks with Monarch. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off of your first year. That's monarch.com, code LOCKEDONNHL for half off of your first year, baby.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Canucks. Do us all a favor, hit the like button, give us a 5-star review. Christmas is in a couple months. I'm getting married in 6 to 7 years. Trevor, your 10-year anniversary is coming up in what? Why are you laughing?
Yeah, you're supposed to say your 10-year anniversary is coming up in 4 to 5 years.
Yeah,
No, it's I'm in year 7 of marriage, so the 7th anniversary will be it'll be in the first half of next year. Yeah, time's flying, man.
I said 4 years. I said 4 or 5 years. My bad. Anyways, man, oh man. Samuel Adams is saying, where's Jason Megna when you need him? Who needs Jason Megna when you have Joe Labate? And I think Grady Sass, friend of the show, he tweeted something out surrounding what's the guy's name? Joe Labate and his most common line mates 8.5 years ago when he last played for the Vancouver Canucks. And I'm pretty sure Jason Megna was one of them. And that's not even a joke. But before we get to my weekly report cards, a new segment on Locked On Canucks, Trevor, just talk about this guy and can you just motivate the people too, for real? Be a little a TED talk about this, okay? Because Joe, this story is super dope. And there's a 1% chance, I'm telling you, that he actually sticks around outside the injuries because he does bring something different to the table.
Joe Labate is a reason to never give up on your dreams. He was an inspiration for me, grinding as a writer and a podcaster part-time before making the full-time jump here. But Joe Labate, over 3,000 days have gone by since his last game for the Vancouver Canucks. Back in March 28th, 2017, the Canucks faced off against the Anaheim Ducks that night in a lineup that still featured Kevin Bieksa and Ryan Kessler.
Whoa.
Joe Labate, he injured his hip, almost ended his career with the Utica Comets in February of 2018, considered retirement, went unsigned by the Canucks as he was recovering from this injury, and then bounced around 3 AHL teams in 5 years. Then went over to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan's only KHL team, was a first-line center in Kazakhstan for the KHL. Parlayed that into another contract with the Columbus Blue Jackets, played his first game in 7 years last year in Columbus, and now man-on-man back in Vancouver, playing his first game in 8.5 years. Kyle, you didn't need the ginger shot, man. All you needed was a little Joe Labate motivation talk. Now, Kyle, not only do you have to take the ginger shot, now I'm hitting you with this.
Trevor's trivia starts now.
Kyle, I want you to tell me 8 Canucks that were on the team last time for the last NHL game Joe Labate played for the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, Henrik Daniel, Ryan Kessler, Kevin Bieksa.
No. It had to be on the Vancouver Canucks. No Anaheim Ducks here.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I didn't hear you properly. Okay.
Yeah.
Henrik Daniel. What's his name? Plays for the Ben Hutton. Horvat.
Horvat actually, I know he was in this game. Yeah.
I know. Jake Virtanen. No. I'm right.
Jake Virtanen was not in this game.
What? Oh, in his game.
Yeah.
Oh, in the game. Why am I like Alex Edler? Obviously.
Alex Edler, yeah. Three more, man. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds.
Ryan Miller.
That's 6. He started that night.
Eddie Lack.
He was on the bench. Yeah, sure. I'll give it to you.
Okay, give it to me. And then there was like some Swedish, like, who was that? No, why am I blanking out here? Like,
Close, man. There was you could have went with Sven Berchi, Nikita Triamkin. Chaput played in that game. Reed Boucher played in that game. Nikolai Goldobin, Brandon Sutter, Chris Tanev, Drew Shore. The point is, it's been a long freaking time since Joe Labate played an NHL game. The Canucks hadn't even drafted Pettersson or Hughes the last time Joe Labate played for the Vancouver Canucks. So kids or adults, seniors, anybody, aliens, never give up on your dreams.
Yeah, a long time since he's played an NHL game for the Vancouver Canucks. You said he was on Columbus last year. I'm putting you on the spot here. Maybe we'll save this for the post-game show if he does have a good game. But, like, again, I want to maybe start building some momentum around Joe Labate possibly being a mainstay for the Vancouver Canucks, considering that he was a tough son of a gun, maybe at times last year, but especially in the preseason this year. And, again, the Vancouver Canucks, in my opinion, they're soft and they kind of need more of a piece of shit playing game in and game out who's willing to drop the gloves. Anyways, last segment on the show, we're going to run this really quick. We'll do this every week. Trevor does the goats of the week, and I'll be the teacher, and I'll give grades to every single player on the team week after week. Let's do it. I guess we have to run this bump. I'll make a new bump later, okay? You're listening to Locked On Canucks. Okay, here are my report cards for the week. Maybe we'll move Trevor down here. Boom, bam. We're just going to give a letter grade to every single player that played for the Canucks this week. Starting at the top, Atu Ratu a B, Archie Baines a B, Teddy Bluger a B. Brock Besser, I'm giving him a B+, even though I kind of wanted to give him a B, but 3 goals in 5 games. I mean, I'm trying to understand that that's just him. If he's not going to do much, but he's going to score on a 30 to 40 goal pace, like, just take it and stop complaining, You know what I'm saying? Connor Garland, give him an A+, like a double A+, like whatever I could give him, the highest grade in the world. What a player. Derek Forbert didn't play much. Honestly, I gave him a B. Maybe I should have given him a B+, considering how different our PK has looked. Drew O'Connor a C. Elias Pettersson the first. This may surprise people because it's 3 points in 6 games. I'm giving him a B+, okay? I'm being a little nice to him. You got it. I'm proud of him. I'm actually proud of Elias Pettersson. He's played a really good stretch of games here, and I'm pretty sure he's back. DPD, I'm giving him a B. Vander Kane, you may be a little surprised, but I'm giving him a B-. I was being an asshole to him earlier, but then I realized he was big in a big part of our win against Washington, even though he played bad defensively. Like, he was big on 2 of the goals. He helped us win that game. That's huge. Filipino, get well soon, a B+. Philip Hronik, an A-, maybe should be an A. Jake DeBrusk, a C. Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, a B. He hasn't played a lot, but I like when he has the puck on his stick. I don't know, something about him making his plays. I just want to see more of him. Get well soon. Kevin Lankinen, a B+. Kiefer Sherwood, an A, double A+, whatever that means. Linus Carlson, a B. Marcus Pettersson, a B+. Max Sasson, an A-. Quinn Hughes, a B+. Thatcher Demko, an A+. Tyler Myers, a C+. That may piss people off. And Valentino Martini, a B. Trevor, just end off the episode by talking some shit about my grades. And go Canucks, go. Hit the like button, and we'll see you after the show. We'll see you after the game. Sorry.
Yeah, and I think pretty good grades for the most part, but definitely a couple things to nitpick with. How do you have Evander Kane at a B- and Jake DeBrusk at a C? I thought Jake DeBrusk has really turned up over the past couple of games. Has been way, way more impactful than Evander Kane. Let's see what else I got here, man. No, that's all looking pretty good overall. Tyler Myers, man. I do got a problem with the C+. And Victor Mancini. Look, as much as we love, Valentino Martini the third here on Locked On Canucks, it's been a bit of a shaky start. I think he kind of picked it up a little bit. But Tyler Myers, he was one of the best Canucks on the ice in the game against the Washington Capitals. There's still some of a chaotic nature to his game, but this is still a guy successfully logging top 4 minutes for your Vancouver Canucks for the most part. So I would give a bump to Tyler Myers and Jake DeBrusk. I would bump down Victor Mancini and Evander Kane.
Who's helped us win more games, Jake DeBrusk or Evander Kane? Honestly speaking, again, look at Evander Kane. He was big on the game-winning goal, and he was big on the Tyler Myers goal. And again, I'm a huge Evander Kane hater right now, for real. Trust me, the guy pisses me off. Like, I can't stand this guy playing so many minutes and having so much opportunity. Don't like it, but I'll just damn, he helped us get 2 points. And I don't know if Jake DeBrusk is he's solid, and he's skating fast, but 1 goal in 6 games, if I'm correct.
At least he's showing some speed skating off the rush. And I think Evander Kane, again, outside of a couple nice plays, on the whole, it's been a pretty poor start for him, in my opinion. He's looked slow. He's turned the puck over. But yeah, he kicked the puck to Bluger, and he set up Myers for a goal, and he had to pass to Hedl. He's had 3 pretty good plays. But aside from that, I think it's been pretty bad. Whereas DeBrusk at least is showing the speed, getting in on the forecheck a bit more than he was last season. I'm seeing more positive attributes from Jake DeBrusk on a shift-to-shift basis, more so than I am Evander Kane. But that's all right. I mean, the Canucks are 4-2, pretty generous grades, and that's okay, man. Because your Vancouver Canucks, let's see if they can keep the win streak alive. Kyle alluded to, hit us up for the postcast here on Locked On Canucks after the game. One love and you to listening, for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, go share the episode with a friend, a colleague, your family, your mom. They'll all love it. You can support the show by liking and subscribing on YouTube on the podcast side. Go follow us, leave a 5-star review. Remember, never give up on your goddamn dreams because of Joseph LeBate. I'm Trevor Beggs. That guy's Kyle Bhawan. You've been listening to Locked On Canucks.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.